What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping back into the Ultimate Universe with Ultimate-X-Men issue number 2. Now, when it comes to the Ultimate Universe, this Ultimate-X-Men title definitely stands out in a different way. I'm not sure if I would call it a good way or a bad way, somewhere in between. Now, when most of us think Ultimate X-Men, of course, you think of the main lineup. But what PEACH MOMOKO is doing is she's taking Armor, aka Hisako, and we're seeing her powers manifest when she's a young girl. But there's also something darker going on at play. Some kind of shadowy individual, one that continuously is giving her instructions, and if she doesn't adhere to these instructions, maybe something bad could happen. Definitely not the X-Men story we expected to see, but we're gonna follow Peach, we're gonna give it an opportunity, we're gonna see where this story takes us. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we have Armor laying here in her bed, and as she lays here, she slips into her dreams. She has a conversation with her friend that had ended his life. After being tormented by so many people, he had sat here and discussed how he thought about just ditching school altogether. He doesn't want to go back to school. And in that moment, she kinda told him that that was punk rock. Like, that's kind of a cool thing to do. But she was unable to see the trauma that he was dealing with. That the weight of his shoulders was getting too heavy. She blames herself for not saying more in that moment. And when she comes to, she finds the note in her hand. Her mother screaming up to her, telling her that she needs to go pick up some eggs on her way home. And so she hops on her bike and she hightails it. She picks up those eggs, but she also sits down for a moment. And when she sits down, this is where an individual by the name of May comes up to her. May recognizing her as the girl from a couple weeks ago in the car wreck. But May's really interested in just who she is. She does everything she can to break the ice with her. And Armor's like, this girl's kinda weird. She's a little bit different. Maybe she's weird enough not to think that I'm crazy. And so Armor shows her the note. A note saying that I'm waiting for you in the science lab of the abandoned school. Come see me. With May on board, they arrive at this place, the door being opened. Without hesitation, the two of them walk inside, and she tells May about the creepy shadow guy that started talking about vengeance. And then the teacher died. Armor is hoping that she can stop this before any more victims are claimed. She's also continuously beating herself up because she feels like she's too scared to do this alone. But May isn't terrified. She's not worried about this in the slightest bit. As they look through this place, a security guard comes up to them. But before he can do anything or say anything, in the room directly in front of them, the door opens up. Stuffed animals hanging from the walls, candles dripping, papers everywhere. And then the shadowy figure, thanking Armor for showing up, letting her know that the three boys who had really bullied their friend, they won't be seen anymore. This shadow wanted to let her know that. This is when she begins to panic, the security guard's face turning into worms. And so May and Armor, they run for their lives. With May turning around, it appears that she has control over the wind. Think it's also worth noting the lightning bolt earrings. We're gonna talk about this at the end of the comic, but breaking through the security guard is a shadowy figure, appearing to attack Armor. In her frenzied panic, we see her mutant ability activate. Smashing down, not only does it get rid of the shadowy figure, but her mom's eggs are also all over the place. This is where we see a boy, frustrated and not understanding. It appears that this boy is the one controlling that shadow figure, saying that he knows that girl's face from somewhere. He knows her from school. Taking us to the next day, Armor and May meeting up with one another. The two of them finding out that they are now classmates. May getting Armor set up on social media, all that good stuff. This appears to be the blossoming of a great friendship. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright, so we know exactly where we're at. May and Armor, they just had their first day of high school at the end of this comic. The shadowy individual appears to be a boy that they go to school with. He is enacting vengeance on everybody that led to his inevitable suicide. Now he is angry because Armor isn't helping him. That these people, they deserve the punishment that he is dealing out. And Armor is only standing in the way of that happening. Alright, so we're about to talk about Maystorm, a young girl who idolized the Wakandan freedom fighter, with Maystorm first appearing on the X-Men number 27 New Champions variants. She made her debut in the Ultimate Universe issue number 1. Now, we don't really know much of her past, but we know that she can manipulate air. We also know she has the ability to generate electricity from her body. We saw this in the comic when she pulled out that little toy dog, and it was able to work without any kind of batteries. And what's even cooler about this comic, about this character, is that May's surname, it means 50 storms. So this is kind of like Peach making her own version of Storm. Kind of like a kid Storm, if you will. And considering it's the Ultimate Universe, I'm down for it. Obviously, she has relatively the same powers as Storm, probably to a lesser extent. Especially considering it's a child, we can assume that she would be nowhere near Storm's abilities or powers. But they resemble those powers in tremendous ways. It's really Peach making a Japanese version of Storm. Definitely not a character I expected, but honestly, I'm excited to see where this goes. Not the X-Men story that we may have expected, but it's definitely the X-Men story that I want to keep on reading. I want to give this the opportunity and really just see this thing through. Like I said, I'm not the hugest fan of Peach's work, but this definitely has some promise to it. Maybe this is where the X-Men start in this universe. Maybe it all starts right here with Maystorm and Armor. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with the Ultimate Universe. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.